Hi Sagittarius, this is your horoscope for February 2014 with me, Lada from astrolada.com. And this is for everyone who have their ascendant, sun, or even moon in Sagittarius. And you can find those at my birth chart calculator at astrolada.com. You need to know your time of birth to know your exact ascendant, degree and sign. And please make sure you listen to the ascendant sign and the sun sign. Even if they're somehow contradictory, you'll see how both predictions will be happening to some extent in your life, because both are very personal positions. And what is happening, Sagittarius, in February? It's more peaceful month. Just some of you Sagittarians will have it more difficult, with much more pressures and demands on them. And these are mostly some of you the Sagittarius, which are basically November born, but I'll talk about that towards the end of the video when I give you specific days of birth and degrees of the ascendant of the moon or the moon, and I'll talk what exactly, and I'll share what exactly you can expect. But for all other Sagittarius, ascendant or sun or moon people, the month is relatively pleasant and relatively supportive and easy. Actually, for a lot of you can be very, very wonderful, and I'll give you the days and the degrees again towards the end of the video. So there'll be like two groups of Sagittarians, ones which are having it much harder, and I'll give you the days, and others who are just breezing through everything, you know, flowing through, getting new opportunities. But let's start about all the Sagittarius now. There is focus on family life for you this month. The passions are rising there. Mars and Venus, two planets of passion and desire in your fourth house of home, family, property. And Venus shows where we can get sense of pleasure and enjoyment. And while it's in your fourth house of family, it means that this is the area where you get more support from. This is the area where also you can fix some, smooth some conflicts. And you will be having some conflicts there because Mars is also there. Mars, in your fourth house, Mars is the planet of war, a planet of anger, you know, the planet of problems. So it brings some problems to the surface, whether it's to do with your property, whether you have to fix something, whether it's with the members that you live with you, with your flatmates, or with your family, or with your parents, you know. Some issues can arise. Maybe you have to rearrange something in the home, you know, and you're just being more active in that area. And those issues that arise, though, they will quickly be sorted out because Venus, this magical healer and soother, is also in your fourth house. So it can feel a little bit more of a roller coaster. One day, you know, you have some conflict or problem or certain things you have to fix or change or resolve at home or with family members. And then Venus is also there, so you also get the needed support and resources to fix and to smooth out this problem. Venus makes you in the fourth, and Mars more desirous as well of beautiful things for your home, more desirous of more intimacy with family members around you, more social involvement with them in a sense. And because of that, sorry. And especially your social life might revolve around your home now because Venus rules your social life. And this is where you're going to be relaxing. This is where you're going to be enjoying more your time. But at the same time, Mars is more, you know, fiery planet. So passions can also run high. And one calms down, the other one puts the fires up, you know. But on the more mundane level, what it can indicate, I've often seen, because both these planets are very creative, Venus and Mars, are kind of artistic, so people might start having a desire to buy something beautiful for home, to improve something at home to make it look better. And Venus, the planet of beauty, makes sure that you'll be able to do it, you know. But if there are any resentments as well around your home environment and some stresses there, these are temporary and they will be smoothed out pretty quickly. Okay, unless it's a problem that's been festering for many years, then it's not caused by this, you know, it can just escalate when Mars is there. And Venus alone will not be able to help it. Okay, let's see where the other planets are. Mercury and the Sun are in your third house, which is a very busy house. It's the house of busyness. It's the house of your communications. So communications become pretty active, and maybe you started some negotiations, some communications, some agreements and arrangements, or signing of papers even from January, and this continues. Maybe you have to review those communications, those new contacts you're making, because third house rules everything: communications, new contacts, contacts with people overall. So maybe you're much more busy, people calling you, contracts, signing contracts as well, some papers, arranging some papers, arranging some communications. Is anything to do with negotiations. Also, the third house is social media, associates, people that you teammate and teamwork with. It's very busy month for such activities, and you might have to revise a few times a project with such people, whether you're working in a team or whether you're working for the advertisement or management of something. It's third house. It's management, advertisement, media, anything with written, spoken word communications. You're very busy with doing such things around February, and probably it started from January, arranging such activities. A good time for business overall, but you might have to redo it a few times, and some problems can come up to the surface that you have to fix, because Mercury is retrograde, then turns forward, moving forwards in February from around after the first 10 days approximately. So don't get stressed if you have to revise such work, mental work, third house, communication, some negotiations, some contacts. If you have to redo something a few times, maybe reach out to a few people a few times before the deal is sealed or before whatever you want happens, because of the retrograde motion of Mercury. But it's good, because by the end of this whole process, by March, you'll say, oh, I'm glad I did those new contacts. I'm glad I answered those phone calls. I'm glad I did those, even though I had so many things. So I was so busy communicating, arranging things, doing some business stuff, which is all third house. I'm glad I did it. Also, some of you might have to revise some of your knowledge and skills and information, because third house rules the skills we have, whether it's playing the piano or whether it's using a software or whether it's drawing or, anything. And for some reason, some need might have awoken and arisen in January and February for you to brush up on those skills or even introduce new skills into your set of skills. It's a bit of intense. It needs a lot of repetitions because the retrograde motion of Mercury. But you're putting more effort, but the results are much longer lasting and much more effective. By the end of February or March, you start seeing the results of that. And people can get in touch with you that haven't been in touch with you for a while. This is third house, communication. You might be much busy in communication with siblings as well, and relatives and neighbors or teammates, co-mates, associates. Okay, so this is overall what's happening. Focus on home and focus on business, communication, information, new skills, or brushing up on old skills. It can be a good time for taking exams as well and revising for exam, revising information. But let's see those specific Sagittarius that I said. Let's start with the more difficult ones, and then we'll go with the lucky Sagittarius in February. Those Sagittarius who have their ascendant or their moon from around 2 to around 6 degrees in Sagittarius, or basically with their sun from around 2 to 6 degrees in Sagittarius, which means that they're born from around the 24th, 25th of November to around the 29th of November. So mostly, only basically the November-born Sagittarius, sun, ascendant, or moon. Okay, you're having, for the first time in 29 years, Saturn transit your ascendant, sun, or moon. And this is a time when one takes on much more bigger responsibilities than other times of their life. It's a time when you are called to mature. Even if you don't want to grow up and mature, you have to do it. These responsibilities will be given to you from outside, or if you're ready for it, you personally take on new responsibilities, or you start at least planning on taking on these new responsibilities, because Saturn will be having this influence on your sun, ascendant, or moon for almost a year, till next October, November 2015. So now is the beginning of this process. Now is the process of testing, of trying to toughen you up. Saturn wants to toughen us up in the face of obstacles, in the face of delays, to teach us patience, to teach us persevering, hard work, and loyalty. So only the things that you're really loyal towards in your life will stay, whether it's relationships, whether it's career, whether it's projects, whether it's path in life, whether it's emotional attachments, whether it's habits, and the others which are not productive anymore, which are harmful to you, or which you do not fully have your heart in, even if you feel like you want to keep those people, but if you don't really put the hard effort and work that Saturn requires from you, they will disappear within the next 9-10 months, you know, maybe starting from now, from February. And it's going to be quite intense in February, March, April, approximately, and April, May even, you know. So you're starting on a path of maturation, growth, and trimming. Constriction. It's not about expansion. If you feel dissatisfied, you might start feeling dissatisfied with careers, with relationships, with certain situations. You might start feeling very restricted by them. But to be honest, if they're no longer necessary for you, they will disappear from your life, or you leave them. But don't think that if you cross now on the other side, the grass will be greener. Because before Saturn's moved away from your ascendant Sun and Moon, whatever other situation you get yourself involved in will still feel very demanding and, you know, kind of giving you pressure, so to speak. But at the same time, this is a great time to start laying foundations. And if you want more in-depth information of what Saturn will do, I have a video on Saturn, attention, Sagittarius, Gemini, Virgos, and Pisces, which is very popular, and which explains the whole process of Saturn transit and what it brings and what's the best way of action. The best way of action is to be very persevering, hardworking, not to shirk away from responsibilities, to do everything that's required from you. And if you're very dissatisfied with the situation, then, you know, you can abandon it and change it. But anyway, this is the more demanding one, the more demanding, more testing influence, which is also great because always after Saturn periods, people are, they're like pivotal points which put them on a new path in life, which build new foundations in their life. But it's hard. It's like giving birth. It's like, it's painful. Can I do it? People have a lot of self-doubts because it's extra responsibilities they take and they might feel overwhelmed. But anyway, but there's another bunch of Sagittarius which are having the opposite influence. Those of you who have their ascendant or their moon from 14 till 19 degrees in Sagittarius, basically born when the sun was in those degrees, which means from around the 7th or 6th of December to around the 13th, 12th or 13th of December, you're having Jupiter transit in February, which is the opposite. Doors open for you. Things happen easily. Some projects you've been working hard on, they come, they give good results, so they start happening. You get more confidence, you get more inspired, things happen with more ease, with more blessing. If you even remove something from your life, you remove it because it gives you more freedom, you feel happier. But usually we gain something, we expand and we grow, while with Saturn is the opposite. We constrict, we chop off the dead wood, we take reassessment, we come back, rally together to, you know, to decide what to keep and what to throw away from life. But with Jupiter is the opposite. This is when life gives you more of the abundance, more of the opportunities. So now is a great time to take action if you're born around those days or with those degrees, because you'll most likely be very successful in whatever actions you take and whatever endeavors you do. Even some of those can come to you without you even trying. So thank you very much, Sagittarius. I hope I didn't scare you or confuse you. But this is your prediction for February 2015.